Alright, there you go.
Moist.
Alright, what's up, guys? For another TemPodCast episode. Doing today is just and Josh at the moment.
Yes.
Move my thing around. Mina and Jonah are not joining us tonight because they have to take a trip. They're taking a trip to NY.
They're going on a trip to the city full of shit, going through the skies, little New York. I don't know, I couldn't make it rhyme.
I would have agreed. I would have agreed with that song. Because I lived in New York and I fucking hate it. Like with a passion, like highly with a passion. And you know what sucks? It sucks that I have to move to an even worse state to say that I fucking hate New York. I fucking live in Florida. God damn it! Goddamn Florida man's a fucking thing here. Alright, so also in the process we are playing some Dynasty Warriors.
He's playing it. I don't actually own any of the Dynasty Warrior games.
Yeah.
I played the Hyrule Warrior game on my 3DS and that was it. That's the closest I have to Dynasty Warrior.
Actually, you have Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
Let's play some Lego Fortnite. Let's do some survival. Play some Lego Fortnite with me.
Alright, fine. I'll log into Fortnite real quick.
I want you to fucking survive with me, alright?
Okay, fine. We'll survive. Say yeah. Let's be alone together. Who we can have fun forever. Screaming at the top of your lungs.
You will survive with me. Or we'll break you apart like Legos.
What are you playing Fortnite on exactly?
Oh, a PlayStation.
I always play it on PC because I suck at shooters when it comes to consoles. Like I think the only shooter I've ever done decently with console is Ratchet and Clank, and that's simply because Ratchet and Clank is very simple.
Yeah, that is true. And I guess it's because like I'm very stuck with consoles. Like I'm good with consoles most of the time. Like yeah, I'm staying with consoles. FNAF survival. We need FNAF characters and that shit. But I'm gonna
I would hate if Five Nights at Freddy's characters got into Fortnite. I'm specifically saying it because I know for a fact that it would be a pain in the ass.
I think people are actually looking for it though. That's the thing. I don't want it, but I know people also voted for me to play the rest of Security Breached. Like fucking hell.
I voted for Psychonauts, by the way.
Okay, cool. We just got
Psychonauts slaps hard.
Yeah, Psychonauts 1 I already have. I think I have to re-download it and play it. But I know I set up a whole thing where my other videos is I'll invite you whenever you're ready.
And you're gonna hate the ending of Psychonauts 1 though, because it is. I'm sorry, but like Psychonauts 1, one of my favorite video games, has one of the worst endings in game though. Mainly because of how it plays. That's about it.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think that shit is fucking ugly. Oh, you're doomed.
Yes.
Bro, you're doomed. All right, so we're doing Sandlot because I just want to get creative and speak about this subject. The subject is very important. Haha. So I will be the Spiderman.
I forgot I had Korra.
Are you? I thought you were gonna be a Marvel character. Fine, I'll be someone else.
Oh, no, I can be a Marvel character. Let me see who I have.
No, don't, because I said I'm gonna switch out anyway. So.
I just noticed this, but Lego female characters have boobs drawn onto them. I never noticed that in my entire life of playing with Legos.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get the boobs popped in right there.
And they literally have curves drawn on them. Jesus Christ, I just noticed that.
There's my boy Guff. Alright, you ready for that? Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is what we're gonna be talking about today. So I know like me and you probably had this discussion before. But I think I need to have this discussion a little bit more. What is like something that is running game? And there's a topic that is very important to I think both of us because we are both gamers and very important. So right there. Hey, that's all right. All right, so we gotta find a nice place to make our stuff here. But what I'm gonna have you start first. What you think is
ruining gaming?
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, I feel like one of the things that is kind of ruining video games as a whole is, in my opinion, the main thing, or one of the main things, is I'm flying. Oh wait, this is creative. Oh, I thought you wanted to survive. Never mind.
Well, we're gonna be talking about the subject. I want us to focus on.
All right, so we're not distracted. Got it. All right. So basically, my idea, or what I sort of have, is one of the things I feel like is kind of ruining video games is both general audiences and like really stubborn gamers not wanting, or better yet, not really caring about anything but graphics. Like the fact that many video game companies have this obsession to try and create like new graphics or the most realistic graphics. I feel like it's making video game it's making it very difficult for gamers to really get as many games as need be, because we really don't get that many video games, and that kind of sucks, because I feel like most of the time video games as a whole, video games need like I guess I want to say like a standard release of some sort.
I'm making us a house.
Like, nice. But like when you think about it, a lot of video games, like when you think about it, there are tons of video games out there that probably should have and most likely do need a lot more than they are actually being given. Like for example, the Ratchet and Clank series. The first, like on PlayStation 2, Ratchet and Clank has 4 games. PlayStation 3, Ratchet and Clank has, let me look this up because I don't know exactly how many. I know we got a bunch of games,
like
but
5 or 6.
It's way more than 5. Hold on. How many PS3 Ratchet and... Yeah, hold up.
At least like 6, I believe.
Let me think. No, actually it was 7. We got 7 games. Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, one including the collection.
Yeah, which is something and that's not even like the bare minimum of shit like that. Like, here's the thing. I feel like story-wise, not even story-wise, like gameplay-wise, we need to be getting more video games in many different franchises. And I feel like because video games spend so much goddamn money on because they spend so much goddamn money on graphics, it makes it very difficult, and I mean very difficult, for video games to truly feel, like, in my opinion, like they matter. And I mean they do matter, but I'm mostly pissed off about the fact that we don't have many video games available anymore, or we're not getting many games because of the fact that most of them have just a shit ton of fucking graphics, or like an incredible amount of graphics to them. And I feel like we don't need hyper realistic graphics to make video games in general. I feel like as long as the games play good and look decent, we don't need graphics. We never needed like perfectly realistic graphics. We just needed them to look decent. But because so many gamers out here keep complaining about the fact that, oh, we don't have the greatest graphics of all time, then it just kind of pisses me off, because if we had less fantastical graphics or something like that, if we had more graphics that were fun to look at for the most part, like if they were, for all intents and purposes, if they were just like, God, how am I trying to say this? I feel like if we had graphics that were more or less basically like, I guess cartoonish, or at least were close to realistic but not perfectly realistic, then the games would still look good. Like, stylize your games more often. But because so many video games nowadays want to be like the most realistic, cutting edge shit, it leads to us getting less video games. Like, a perfect example, and then Ratchet and Clank is like, you know, one of the examples I often use. But I feel like God of War also falls into this as well, because I feel like God of War Ragnarok would have been just as good if it didn't have the PlayStation 5's like graphics. Like I generally feel like that would have been just as good of a game, even if it didn't have like the cutting edge graphics of the PlayStation 5. Like I feel like Ragnarok should have been a PlayStation 4 game. I mean, I believe it could have been, but because, you know, Sony wanted to push next gen graphics, lo and behold, we didn't get Ragnarok on the PS4. We had to get it on the PlayStation 5. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this also holds back a lot of gameplay developers as well, because we don't necessarily, since many gameplay developers have to focus on making the graphics work, it makes it to where a lot of gameplay ideas and concepts aren't able to be properly fleshed out and done, because if you make a character do a certain thing or act a certain way, you also have to unfortunately worry about whether or not it'll fuck with the graphical codes and shit like that, because graphics are the most expensive thing that, you know, is made with a video game, that, you know, developers spend or companies spend on video games. And I feel like you'd save a lot more money if instead of trying to create the most realistic graphics, you were just trying to create the most fun game mechanics. Right? You don't see Nintendo complaining about graphics. You only see gamers and random people in average spaces who don't know that much shit about video games complaining about that shit.
I could definitely agree with that. I definitely think that like where it comes to gamers, I think gamers worry more about the aspect of what they want, but not what they need.
Exactly.
I think in certain aspects, I think it goes to a point where it's exactly what you think. They're worried more about what graphics is there, but not why you make Castle.
I'm making a manner just because I think it's fun. Plus, it's just something to do while we're talking. Like, that's basically what creative is.
By me is the cabin.
I know you made the cabin. I like the cabin. But I feel like if we built a whole mana...
Yeah, mana.
Sound like... Yes, a mana.
Oh,
sound like Victor... Sound like Victor Quartermain from Wallace and Gromit.
Oh my god, whole mana.
Yes, your mana house.
Exactly. But yeah, it's... When I see like certain things, I think gamers are too high end expecting for like, especially for certain things or for certain things that don't matter. And graphics is one of them. A lot of people try to say that, oh, like if it's a AAA company, they should be able to balance all of them. But I'm like, I kind of agree with that too. But at one point, there's so much out there that can actually be done, and there's so much more important shit that can be put into gaming than just a good looking game. Like, because there are games out there that look like absolute gutter fucking trash, and some people don't want to admit that because of the simple fact that, hey, you know what, sometimes the shit and people get to a point where it's like, oh, you know what, we worry about, like, as I said, like the graphics and everything. They'll have like a game that just sucks, story wise, gameplay wise, but yeah, it looks pretty. An example of that, in my opinion, is Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem looked amazing, but it sucked, and the story fucking sucked.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. There's a reason we don't have any new Duke Nukem games, and it's because of one bad one.
Yeah, but in true honesty, I think it's because they could have done better with it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I said.
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah, because they could have done better with it, and for some reason, I don't know why that shit got a HD remake. Because that people asked for that. I don't know why the fuck people would ask for that, but you know what? As I said, you know, to each their own. But in my other, like, I would say another opinion that I have specifically when it comes to and I'm making a house and things when it comes to gamers, I think it comes to the idea where gaming is failing to a point because there is a major lack of I would say a major lack of communication. And it comes to a point where it's like that has mostly to do with, you know, not just the gamer but the companies itself. I think companies have a tendency of never communicating in the right ways when they do. I think companies need to understand that they need to have that certain communication to be able to, like, you know, have a good game. But I think what kills it is sometimes the aspect of what gamers do that is a little extra. So, like, for instance, there's some gamers that make video game design a lot more difficult than what the fuck it is. And with that, like, a lot of people end up limiting their conversations with the gaming community, rightfully so. Because, like, how do I say this in the most nicest way so it doesn't come out insulting?
You don't have to be nice here.
Yeah, no, fuck it. Like, the gaming industry and the gaming community, they could take it. As I said, it comes to a major point where a lot of people do not see the major issues of what's being put in and what is not being provided. Like for instance, a lot of companies are responsible for this, in my opinion. A lot of companies will go ahead and do things like, for instance, like bash Nintendo or bash like other companies here and there, but won't look at the shit that they're doing. Or like, for instance, like, let's say, like, you know, some of the choices will go ahead and say, oh, you know what, Nintendo's doing these bad things, or we're trying to make some like other decisions based off of like I'm really trying to explain it the best way here.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If you need a moment to collect your thoughts, just let me know.
It's not even that. It's just like mostly when I like put the idea out there, and like my mind goes blank for that sometimes, and I guess that's why the ADHD tends to be a pain in the rear end. But no, my issue, especially with the gaming community, as I said, the game community or the game companies, sometimes with the lack of communication with the communities, they don't know what the fuck they're putting out. As I said, in my opinion, I think a lot of communication can go properly if they do it proper. Like, as I said, we had this communication with the ROM situation. Like everybody has to understand that yes, that is a business aspect, that is a real thing. But in my opinion, this wouldn't be an issue if things like Nintendo was like, oh, you know what? Okay, why don't we just sell these ROMs on our website or on the darn freaking the page, or like the Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. That wouldn't be no issue. I feel
like this is a mix. I feel like what you're trying to say is like a mix of different issues altogether, because communication itself can affect multiple aspects of the gaming community, but it feels like you're trying to focus on more than one at the same time.
Like, it's because like that falls in the idea of communication. And
yeah,
and as I said, with communication, you need to have some type of balance for everybody.
So you feel like Nintendo should have like communicated to fans why they don't want the ROMs out there in the first place, instead of just, you know, launching a fuck ton of legal takedowns and shit.
Exactly. Like, if you don't like what's going on, or you don't like what people are doing with the ROMs, be like, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and make sure they know. Be like, hey, we don't like what's going on with the ROMs. We don't like how the ROMs are being added. We don't like how this is being added to with the ROMs. Can you guys stop adding to the ROMs, or you can just have them have like a cease and desist. Be like, hey, take off the thing. We want you to just take it off. We don't want it on your system. You know, that would have been at least decent. But as I said, it goes to a point where now everybody's asking. It's like, okay, but why can't we get the games on the website or on the Switch and stuff like that? Then they'll be like, oh, you know what? All right, we'll try to make sure to do it for you. Like, it's like that. That's better communication to me.
I feel like the issue is mainly the fact that, like, when people find, I feel like this issue mostly has to deal with accessibility,
Yeah.
not really communication. Because, like, even if Nintendo says that, the issue of people not having access to these games is still there, which is another thing I feel like is also ruining gaming, which is the lack of accessibility to video games. There are tons of like, I feel like the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 should have been, in my opinion, the perfect Nintendo and the perfect PlayStation, because it had so much potential to be that. The problem is that they're not that, because they literally refuse to do very basic things, which is the PlayStation 5 should have been the perfect hub for every PlayStation game you could think of. Every PlayStation game you've ever played should have been on the goddamn PlayStation 5. Every Nintendo game you've ever played should have been on the goddamn Nintendo Switch.
Or at least they should have been at least backwards compatible.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, like, I feel like you should have been able to at least buy every single PlayStation game that's ever been made on the goddamn PlayStation 5, or at least most of the really big ones. There's no reason why the Ratchet and Clank games aren't able to be downloaded onto the motherfucking, like, there's no reason why these games shouldn't have been released onto the PlayStation 5, and there's no reason the Sly Cooper trilogy can't be downloaded on there either. Like, it shouldn't have taken us forever to get a port of Sly 1 on the PlayStation 5. That should have been a day one thing. Same with GameCube and, like, fucking NES games being a part of, you know, the fucking Nintendo Switch. Like, these are things that should have, for all intents and purposes, been on these every fucking Zelda game on my Nintendo Switch.
Right.
That's what I should be able to do, but I can't.
Okay, just to let you know before anything, you got cut off a little bit because Spectrum started to be a bitch on me. But no, I get what you're talking about. Like, especially with there should be like certain games that should have been available on there already.
Not certain, like most games should have been accessible.
I would say that yes. I think
most Xbox games are accessible via Xbox Game Pass. I don't see what the hell.
Well, yeah, I would say like most of them should be, but like some of them sadly can't because of the contract with it. But otherwise, besides the ones that are able to be contract, I would agree they should have been on the thing
what
already.
Contract?
So some contracts actually based off of like for instance some titles to be like for instance like either exclusive to said company or to said contract, or sometimes they have a contract with said company to push like, you know, the titles in, like, you know, like how Sony has his own they have a contract with Sony to push it out on the Sony PlayStation and stuff like that. Some of those contracts actually, you know, they go expired, so sometimes they can't bring in like certain games. But like if like Sony based games like Sony owned games like the Ratchet and Clank series, yeah, those should be automatically on the thing like that. Like Sly Cooper.
Well, yeah, obviously.
It's
like if it's a video game that doesn't apply to that, which is a lot of these fucking games, they should be.
Oh yeah.
They should be on the PlayStation 5. Like, all these games should be accessible via PlayStation 5, and there's no excuse for them not to be.
Oh no,
in my opinion.
No, I agree with that. That I agree with. Yeah, like, it's just like the only ones that I don't see that happening to is just the ones that have the expired contracts. But no, I definitely agree with that. I think personally when it comes to stuff like that, I think a lot of people really don't, like in certain areas, especially some gamers, they don't want accessibility towards that because of the fact that it's not really accessibility, is the idea of getting a free game.
Which, oh, you're talking about like with piracy? I was just saying accessibility in general, like not to prevent piracy or anything. I mean, like, these games should be available because, yeah, piracy, like, I don't think that's ever going to ruin the gaming industry because piracy has never gotten to a point where it is actually taking money away from big video game developers or companies.
Well, yes, but that is true. But like, as I said, when it comes to like certain things, it's the idea of getting the game free, though. It's just
which again I get, but that's more of a piracy issue, not something that's ruining video games.
I would say that is because on a certain aspect, like when they want to go ahead and put it back up, make it accessible, they're gonna want to resell it. So, like for instance, if they do like, let's say like Ratchet and Clank, let's say like for like $9, like let's say $9 or $10, which I think that would be like the regular price for it, or like some of them, especially if it was on PS3, I think it was like the original was like $15. Like for instance, if they did something like that, like piracy, especially in certain areas, will help you find a way to get the game for free. But
Which true, but again, I don't think that's ever going to really ruin video games or video game companies because a lot of video game companies, like my main thing is that sure, accessibility. Like yeah, I get it. There are people out there who really are just they just want to get the game for free, but I don't think there's that many people out there who are just like, oh yeah, let me get the game for free and never pay for an official copy. I don't think there are that many people out there like that. I feel like there are definitely a lot, but I don't think it's to the point where it makes it to the I don't think it's to the point where it's actually hurting the bottom line of video game companies.
well,
Like I highly doubt that's what's actually going to happen.
well, of course, yeah. Like I don't think it's gonna hurt them because at one point, as I said, it's not really digging in money towards it. But if they have to put if it gets to a point where a lot more people are starting to do it, then they gotta find a way to stop it.
Which is perfectly fine. I don't think that's like ruining video games or gaming at all. I feel like this is more of just a, piracy thing. Which again, you shouldn't pirate. You shouldn't pirate like video games or anything like that. Support the developers and all that. But like, again, I feel like this is one of those. I feel like this isn't really on topic.
Well, here's what it is. As I said, like that is a certain area where it does ruin it. As I said, this is what I'm saying. Like, for instance, as I said, it goes to a point where if some people see that it's now, like, for instance, if a company has a right to make money off a product, let's say if you get, for instance, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 as a copy, Sony put it up there, sold them all individually for $4.99, which is not a bad deal. Let's say they sell them individually $4.99, you get them for $15.99 as a bundle. Now, they have, and let's say Resident Evil's privately owned by Sony. Reselling it, the game's available, the game's is able to be put out for people, and the game is out there for for people to go ahead and download it on their systems and be on your account for whenever you get a new system. Now with this, there's also the spread of ideas of, oh, you know what? You guys are paying $5 for that. I'm getting it for free. People will end up going towards that idea too. And when they add that idea in the process of that, it also has a major issue with people if they're putting it out there for gamers to actually be accessible to gamers, and to a point where a company is making money off of it, then that should be an okay thing. But when people pirate it, that is taking away a company or a person's ability to earn off said product.
Which I fully understand that. I'm mostly just referring to the fact that it's not ruining gaming as a whole, because while yes, it takes money from the company, that's never really been the the big catch-22 thing that makes it difficult for companies to make money. And I feel like you're trying. And it's not really, hurting companies or preventing them from making their games more accessible. Like, I get it, like, that's the thing. Because it feels like you're saying that the reason companies don't make their games more accessible is because it makes them easier to pirate, which I kind of disagree, because I feel like at the end of the day, if your game is more accessible or if your game is given out to more people, that doesn't make it, like, easier to inherently pirate. It just means more people are gonna be able to buy it.
All right. Well, think about it this way. Let's say you've always said, oh, like, why don't they make a new Sly Cooper, right? Why don't they make a new Jack and Daxter and stuff like that? I said I agree with that idea. Let's say for now, with that aspect, they sold the old ones to make the money to be able to do so, because what they're doing with that. If they do that, let's say they make a certain amount of money, they need to make a certain amount to be able to make a brand new game, because they always have a goal they're selling.
Obviously.
Yeah, but if you get someone to move onto the idea of pirating, then in the process, if they don't make that money, then guess what? Then games don't get made. It goes.
Which I agree with.
Yeah, I get it. If it's in a way that like sometimes you have to because you don't have the money to do so, but then at one point. Here's my thing. I don't think if you don't have the money to do so, to do things like me, I don't think games is a priority. Like for
true.
Yeah, like for instance, if They were like, oh well, I gotta do this because I can't afford games or anything. I'm like, I have to feed my family. I'm like, okay, that's understandable, but why the fuck is the choice of buying a game in your mind?
Where this is like actually ruining video games, especially because a lot of people who do pirate video games do go on to actually buy the games when they can afford them if they really enjoy it. This is why a lot of indie games are still successful. Like I feel like some of the most pirated games of all time are actually indie games like Undertale, and that game still made millions of dollars. Like gamers will unite to make sure that actually decent gameplay developers and whatnot are, you know, able to make money from the product they made as long as that product is good. Another example is Five Nights at Freddy's. That game has been pirated to hell and back. Like, it has millions upon millions of downloads of piracy, but it still makes a crap ton of money. So I don't think piracy is ever truly going to ruin the gaming industry, because if the game is genuinely really good, people are going to want to pay for it. And the people who don't want to pay for it, I mean, yeah, they're always going to exist, but it's never going to be enough to really destroy video games. I mean, it's not enough to destroy the film industry. It's not enough to destroy, you know, the book industry. So it's not, I don't feel like piracy is ever truly going to be enough to destroy an entire industry. So I don't really count that as something that's ever going to ruin gaming, in my opinion. But I see where you're coming from here. I definitely get where you're coming from, and I agree that it's not okay.
I wouldn't say it's a major aspect. I would say it can be.
All right, so it can ruin it, but it's just not.
It's not a major aspect. What I think personally, this is my main thing of why I think gaming can be ruined, because, as I said, we worry about shit that is not fucking important.
Oh, let me guess. Are you gonna talk about the wokeness in video games? Oh my God, they're putting black people in my video games.
It's not even just that. It's more on aspects that people want to just worry about, like, that make no fucking difference. Like
what?
Like, so for instance, a lot of people would hate the idea that, you know, because simply it's a specific company, they won't go ahead and support it, but then they want a game from someone. Like, for instance, like, I know how a lot of people hate EA. Everybody and their mother hates EA. But then at one point, it makes no sense to me how you hate EA, but then you will support it to get another Mass Effect. It will make no sense. It won't make no sense for me, like, or how you want another Dragon Age, but then you don't want to put money into EA. I think people are, like, when it comes to gaming and stuff like that, like, people tend to worry about shit that doesn't matter, because it's like, oh, well, it's EA, they're doing, you know, freaking microtransactions and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, don't fucking put money into them. But it's like, oh, but
exactly.
But then,
like, don't buy the microtransaction based games. Like, I feel like the only way EA will ever go back to single player games is if people stop buying their fucking, or stop doing their goddamn, like, you know, multiplayer games. Because that's the thing. That's the biggest issue with EA. They make most of their money from multiplayer games and treating games as a service. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I see where you're going with this. Like, though it's ruining gaming because people are supporting games that are clearly shitty because they think supporting the shitty games will get them the better ones.
Yeah, like they saying that now because, oh, EA is gonna go downhill because of Dragon Age Veilguard. Like, no, it's not. Like, it's not. Like, here's the thing. People don't realize that EA already made enough money that it can survive.
Yeah, like they've made billions upon billions of, well, not, I don't know, billions, but they've made millions of dollars.
No, they made billions.
They'll keep making games. But if you really don't like a bit, but again, I feel like that falls under the woke shit. Like, I feel this is something I feel like that could just ruin entertainment in general. People who care too much about video games portraying things that they're not used to saying. Basically, dumbasses who say, "Oh, go woke or go broke." That type of shit.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because guess what? This is why I say wokeness and DEI does not exist in video games.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
It really doesn't. It's just natural people living. And then, like, people are like here's my thing, and this is the exact same shit that I watch this guy on TikTok, DQ Roman, and then he's like, because you see all these channels going like, oh, go woke and go broke, or like talking about, like, you know, first of all, like, how a character is supposed to look. Like there's a guy who it was like 40 something, married with a wife, taking characters from like Spider-Man, making Spider-Man 2, the girl who is deaf and black, making her white with bigger chest, or making like, you know, like gay couples, straight couples. Like, bro, why the fuck do you care? You have a wife, you are 40 something, you should not be worrying about what other people are fucking doing. One.
Or like how other people are living, like.
And then what's weird about that is just that like people were like, oh, you know what, no, I hope BioWare leaves EA. I'm like, bro, you are seriously saying shit about a company that you fuckers are still putting money into. You're putting money into The Sims. You're putting in money into Star Wars. You're putting money into the next game and stuff like that. Because guess what?
I forgot EA owns the goddamn Star Wars franchise, or at least the video game rights to it.
Yeah, because guess what? Like a lot of people hated Outlaws, which in true honesty, Outlaws was not bad.
It's not bad. It's just not really that good.
It's not bad at all. It's not as great as the ones that it should be, but it's not bad.
Yeah, like it's not bad. It's just not really good. That's the main problem I have with Outlaws.
Like you can get it. I was just getting it on a discount, but as a game, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just not that. It basically is an open world game that chooses to be open world because the developers think open world is a fun idea, but they don't really know how to make an open world game that interesting.
Like it's Dragon Age Veilguard didn't go open world.
I know it didn't. I'm talking about Star Wars Outlaws.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it didn't go open world. It went straight, like, with, like, the same quests. You're going back to the same areas to go ahead and do so. Everybody's like, oh, it's the same shit. It's like, bro, like, the other two from the beginning weren't open world. The third one was open world and was still boring. You have to go back and forth in the fucking areas. The same shit. As I said, like, it goes to aspects where it makes no absolute fucking sense. And as I said, with people nowadays, especially people who are gamers, being a gamer, especially where a lot of people whine and bitch and complain about things that make no fucking difference in their life, is weird. Like, it's like, oh, well, you know what? Well, you know what? Why can't we make the fucking It's the exact same thing with Nintendo. It's like, oh, why can't they make it 4K 60 FPS? Because why the fuck do you need it?
Yeah, I feel like I really don't get why people think 30 frames per second is like terrible, or like the whole, like,
what does it do for you? It's like, oh, it helps out because it does better for people who have eyesight issues. I'm like, bro,
motherfucker, I wear like the heaviest prescription glasses of all time, and I can take my glasses off and still.
When you fucking say goddamn fucking Spectrum.
God damn it. Okay, well, I was saying that it's really stupid how people assume, like, I hate when people try and say that it's eyesight issues and whatnot, because here's the thing. I could take, like, I have the heaviest prescription glasses you'll ever see, and I can take off my glasses and play Kirby and the Forgotten Land perfectly fine at the 30 frames per second that it runs in most Nintendo games, and I can still see what the fuck I'm doing. Hell, last time we played Mario Party, I was not wearing my glasses at all because I couldn't find them before we live streamed. And I still could tell everything we were doing. And Mario Party doesn't run, or at least the Mario Party we were playing, that shit don't run at no goddamn fucking 60 frames per second.
I'm gonna say this, in my opinion, and this is straightforward. People complaining about shit like that are just people with shitty eyesight. Eyesight sucks. It's just straightforward. There's no
fuck. My eyesight sucks, and I'm perfect, and I can see everything. So I don't think it's their eyesight. I think it's their goddamn attitudes.
No, it's like oh, it's 60 FPS. I'm like, bro, no, bro, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, I fucking Spider-Man, the first one, did it in 40, then everybody was okay with it. Like, people were just worried about shit like that. And you know what makes it worse? I think why they get this mindset, which is another thing that is ruining gaming, is the goddamn fucking YouTubers that fucking say shit. Like, fucking, and there's one specific one that I'm gonna talk about, and this is why I fucking don't like him. Fucking goddamn Tyrone Magnus. Tyrone Magnus, in my opinion, is a fucking piece of shit. Straightforward. The guy has opinions on stupid shit that makes no difference. The guy is a shitty voice actor and a shitty movie writer.
Damn.
and then I don't care. Somebody can clip this, or whoever gets a chance who sees this, clip it. Let him know. Also, here's one thing that I don't like. I don't like the idea that, and this was a thing, that I'm not gonna go to Disneyland because they're so woke. So I was supposed to take my wife to go to Disneyland for the first time, but I'm not gonna take her because I am tired. Like, bro, like, you can't fucking swallow your pride for like 2 seconds to take your wife to Disneyland. And that
because
like,
it's woke.
Yeah, because it's woke. Like, bro, prove that shit.
Prove it's woke.
Yeah, it's like that. I'm like, bro, you have no right doing so. And like, at one point, I'm like, yo, I'm surprised that lady stays with him. I'm surprised that lady stays with him. I'm like, bro, you're a shitty writer. You're a fucking clown. I don't fucking like you. Get fucking fucked up. Fuck you. No, I don't like speaking bad about people like that, but it like goes to a point where it's like, no, it's warranted. Like, if I don't like something, regardless of that, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and be like, hey, so you wanted to go to Disneyland and stuff like that? All right, let's go to fucking Disney. I don't like Disneyland, but fuck it, I'll take a walk with Disneyland. I'll go some rides. It's called making a fucking sacrifice. God damn it, that's what you do.
Called compromise.
Yeah,
and that's what you do for the people you love.
Yeah, so that's
you gotta hold her. You gotta please her.
Well, you got
I think you know what I'm gonna say.
You got to
try a little tenderness.
The chicks love that. The chicks love that fancy shit.
Romantic crap.
So I'll say fancy shit, because it
I
sounds
said
bad.
you got to try a little tenderness.
Exactly. So, but and that's why I don't like him. I have a lot of YouTube. Also, Asmongold Gold. I'm telling you right now, piece of shit. First of all, how the hell are you gonna comment on anything in life? You can't even clean up after yourself. No.
Like, I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I listen for facts that come out the mouth of a man with an unwashed eye.
Like seriously, that's actually the truth of it. Like, bro, like, you can't even wash your own fucking ass. Get the fuck out of here.
You don't drink water. You think water is disgusting.
Like, bro, I drink a lot of soda. I at least drink some fucking water.
I drink a lot of alcohol, which I should stop doing because I get a headache.
Told me that. Not good.
Yeah, I can't drink alcohol without getting a headache slightly after. I think it might be my medication.
Yeah, that's that's something you shouldn't do. Drink alcohol while you have medication, Joshua.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't know my medication was affected by it. I thought it was just like other medications.
It's a thing with a lot of medication.
Well, I didn't know.
It's like telling the kid, like, I didn't know. Oh, but anyway.
How was I supposed to know?
Also, the fact of now all of a sudden you go to a political fucking guy. Come on, bro.
You don't deserve to be political if you can't be open-minded. That's what I think.
In my opinion, shouldn't be political at all. Because it goes to like a certain point where these talk so much fucking stupidity. Like, Eden Ross should not be fucking political. Asmongold should not be political.
I mean, I feel like it depends, because I feel like you can be both a gamer and political. It just depends on the shit that you say and, how you act and the things you do and all that. It really just depends on what your political ideas are, because if you're an open-minded person who understands, like, the world around you and is very well read, well spoken, and you know what the fuck you're talking about, then yeah, you can have political ideas and share them. Okay. But if you're the type of person who doesn't I feel like if you're not an open-minded individual, you don't deserve to have any political ideas.
As I said, I'm a gamer. I stay away from politics because here's the reason why I stay away from politics. I stay away from politics because of the simple fact that fucking politics does nothing for me. I don't fucking care. I'll tell you why, because of the fact that I can make a change the next day, but at the end of the day, literally, I will not go ahead and do anything for anybody else. And there's reasons behind that. There's reasons behind why I won't do anything for anybody else. Like, and this comes out very wrong of me, but like, you see how now all of a sudden when we did that whole different vote, like I didn't vote because I didn't fucking like any of the guys that were there. I don't think anybody who was there that is qualified enough for me to fucking vote, because we have people there talking about shit that they don't fucking know about. They know jack shit about what the fuck they're talking about. Like, every time when a discussion about video games come out, they know jack shit about what the fuck they're talking about. What the fuck do you know about video games enough to be like, oh, you know what? Video games do this to children. Video games do that. No. Absolutely fucking not.
Basically, politicians or anyone on Fox News, they don't know jack shit about video games.
Like, even gets to the major point where it's like, why the fuck are you having a discussion about anything like that? You are in no position to have a discussion about video games when you don't fucking know anything about video games.
Yeah, you don't play them, so what's the point?
Like, fucking, goddamn, I think I told you this. Fucking, Hillary Clinton's cabinet was like, oh, you know what? Oh yeah, get a weapon. It's time for us to fight.
All right.
Yeah, like fucking goddamn. They were like, oh, you know what? This game is doing so much damage. It's called Resident of Evil Creek. What fuck?
They don't even know the fucking name of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a fucking problem. Are you ready?
Hold up, let me go into my inventory.
Yeah, that's why it goes to that major point. Like, some people don't understand shit. Oh, you were smart. Bring it. No, but
Oh, you want to fight me?
Oh, damn it, we can't do damage to each other.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna like fight a boss or something. I thought we were gonna spawn something in.
You're gonna fuck that sheep. No, but alright, no.
Fuck that sheep in particular.
Yeah, I think I actually can do that. But my thing about it is, I said, like, when you have like a conversation, especially because that's what's ruining gaming, like where you have like a conversation on shit that makes no fucking difference. Like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear your fucking goddamn. Oh my god.
What?
The dinosaur.
Oh, this big palooka.
No, but you die now.
Not yet.
No, but they don't have like a conversation. Damn. Son. But people have like, you know, opinions on shit that makes no sense. Like, I don't know why you have this opinion. You know nothing about it. The guy in the woke thing is exactly the exact same thing when people have an opinion on it. Like, it's like, oh, like, you know, like they're pushing their politics on it. I'm like, bro, like, it's like, why I escape the real world? Bro, making this assumption, it means that you had a problem like this before. That means you were a fucking idiot. And where freaking YouTubers come across with that idea, you know, when they come in and have that discussion, they have a tendency to talk about stuff that means no fucking difference.
Yeah, like, you feel like a lot of gamers online don't really add to the discussion of video games. It makes it difficult.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more difficult to fucking talk about or even care about video. It's like
What the fuck happened? Alright, well, I think we should move on from the video gamers talking about politics and shit. I feel like we've been on this for a while.
Yeah, but
any other?
Another thing that I feel like is ruining gaming is the lack of communication.
We've already talked about this.
We already talked about this.
Yes.
I think, you know, yeah. How about this one? I think what is ruining gaming, in my opinion, is certain genre.
What do you mean?
I don't need to see a fucking Dark Souls game every fucking time. I don't.
Oh, you mean okay? I feel like that's more like video game companies, constantly trying to mimic other genres.
I would say yes and no. It's also I would say that also has to do with oh, you know what? These freaking gamers don't want to go into trying new shit. But I think gamers need to understand that sometimes a Dark Souls game is not the only game out there.
Which I fully get that, but I don't know how that's really ruining gaming. This is a thing that's happened for years. Like, video game companies for years have looked at, like, a certain video game style or a certain idea that a game has had, and they have, copied it or tried making their own game similar to it. Like, that's just life. Like, I don't think that's something that'll ever truly ruin gaming because, that has happened in gaming for years.
Yeah, but then at one point, as I said, like it comes to the point where if it's like Dark Souls or it's not, like if it's Dark Souls and it's not good. Like for instance, like
I mean, I get you don't personally like Dark Souls, but I don't think that's gonna ruin gaming.
I think that ruins gaming because that throws away the idea that there's actual genres out there, and most of those genres don't get the actual, the actual shine that they deserve. Like
yeah, but that's like that is just the thing that exists in every genre, in everything. Like gamers know there are other genres out there. That's the thing. Like this is just how the gaming industry works. A very famous or very popular form of game blows up and other people make their own versions of it. Like I don't think that's ever going to ruin gaming because it never has in the past, and I don't think it ever will because game developers, they're just going to move on to the next, the next idea that shows up whenever they can. It's life.
that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I would say it's another fair point, but I would say okay. So.
Yeah, because like I get you don't like Dark Souls style games. Like you believe anyone who likes those games are just masochists, but like at the end of the day,
I'm sorry, that
like,
one's a fucking fact. I'm sorry, I would say that shit.
Yeah,
I would agree to that. That shit is a fact because there's no fucking way in hell that some people would be like, oh, like especially this happens a lot. Community. And if you don't play a certain way, then you're not feeling the torment and hard work putting shit like that. It's like, bro, what the fuck do you?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of dumbass, I'll admit there are a lot of dumbass, like, Dark Souls fans, but I'm never gonna just outright say, oh, if you like a Dark Souls game, then you're somehow just a fucking masochist. I don't think that's I feel like there are tons of people who do that, but the main reason people love Dark Souls so much is mainly because of the reward. It's not the pain, it's the reward that gets them. If it was the pain, then sure, I get that, but, like, masochism is about loving pain. Being rewarded doesn't. Oh wait, did you switch us to survival? Oh, okay.
I just brought up a monster that we fought.
Okay.
No, but
like yeah, if that was the thing, then yeah, that would be masochism. But as somebody who has read tons of unsavory stories, I know for a fact what masochism actually is.
Yeah,
and that's not masochism. That's if anything, that's domination.
Well,
for BDSM.
well, to be fair, I don't think I've actually met someone who actually told more about the story of fucking Dark Souls. Yes.
Oh well, I can tell you somewhat of the story of Demon Souls, but I think that's because the Dark Souls doesn't focus on a story; it focuses more on gameplay.
I mean, like a Dark Souls type games.
What in the fuck? You summoned another monster, didn't you?
No, I did.
Then why the fuck did I get hit by what appears to be a goddamn meteor?
Because there's some that fall. No, but yeah.
Strange.
No, but yeah, as I said, like for me, like a lot of people are like, oh, well, I can tell you the whole story. I'm like, can you?
And I'm pretty. Well, have you listened to them? Have you let them tell you the story?
Yeah, I try to listen to that, and then like when they tell me the whole story, I'm like, okay. Did you not learn about this story during the gameplay or after you fucking finished the game?
A lot of people learn about it during the game, because my biggest issue with the Dark Souls series is that it doesn't actually have like traditional, like it has a lack of traditional storytelling. Like you don't get full on cutscenes or anything. Most of the story is hidden behind like fucking collectibles and shit, and that's annoying as hell.
Like,
Like don't give me a collectible to learn the story. Tell me, like, show me the story directly, motherfucker. That's what you need to do.
why would this not turn? Why not turn? Why does this not turn? Why does this not?
I think you have to turn using your mouse.
Remember, I'm on PlayStation.
Oh.
Fuck this.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this car.
Where do you get the vehicles from? I've been looking.
It's like when you build the houses, they're right there on the spot. No, but
No, okay, I'm under you. Is it under utility?
So like,
no.
So when you go into
it's under toys.
It's under builds, and then you see like it has the car blueprint.
Oh, builds. I'm only seeing houses. Oh, vehicles right here. I'm dumb.
But what is one thing that you say that you think is
ruining gaming? Another thing I think that's kind of killing gaming is, this is gonna sound a little weird, but I feel like it's the lack of, I feel like it's mainly the lack of, oh boy, how do I say this? One thing that I truly believe is killing gaming is more or less the lack of innovation that a lot of video game companies are dealing with. I feel like because many video game companies try to stick to one thing without actually trying to, you know, come up with a lot of original concepts and ideas, or innovating on ideas that have worked before, that it leads to many video game companies basically creating a terrible cycle where video game companies or video game developers feel like they need to be perfect. And I think that's kind of abusive. Don't really have too much to say about it, other than, and there's a very big other than the fact that I truly believe that many video game companies really, oh, you're right, this thing doesn't, oh, it does turn, it just takes a while because we're on a, you know, slanted platform. But it's also the fact that video game companies need to stop abandoning entire franchises just because one game sells poorly, or because one game doesn't do as well as they want it to. Like, that is something I feel like is going to kill gaming, because this can happen to almost any franchise, but many video game companies will absolutely abandon entire series that they could be making bank off of simply because one game does bad. And that is, like, the dumbest fucking idea I have ever heard in my life. Like, I get taking a break from the franchise, but not making a new game in it ever again because one game did poorly 10 years ago was the dumbest fucking decision I think most video game companies make. And it will always come off as absolutely idiotic to me that so many game companies are just okay with not doing anything, or not doing anything new with this, or with these types of stories, simply because one bad game happened. No, that's something I get with.
I could definitely agree with you, because of the simple fact that there's no reason on why people should end up, you know, type of manner, like, get to a point where it's like, oh, you know what, we don't need series anymore. Wait, what do you mean? Why not?
Like, yeah, like, oh, they released one bad game, so the entire series is fucked. No.
Oh, then release a brand new one and do.
Yeah, like, make a better one. Like, this is why I really want a new Duke Nukem game, because Duke Nukem fucking rocks. But we're never gonna get a new Duke Nukem game because of one bad game, apparently.
Oh no, that one. No.
What do you mean?
I like Duke Nukem, but with that one bad game, that was so.
Yeah, but that mindset is the reason why we don't have a new Duke Nukem game. I feel like we should get a new Duke Nukem game. We should get new games in, like, multiple franchises. The only reason we don't do that is because of one bad game and companies not wanting to actually put in the goddamn effort to make a good game that we could all, you know, genuinely enjoy and love. But unfortunately, we're never going to get that because, you know, one bad game. which again I feel like is gonna kill more franchises than it actually helps.
Yeah, I would say yes. I would say yes.
Same with Sly Cooper.
I would say yes for ones that are really successful. But ones with like Duke Nukem, I think automatically just put the fucking nail in the coffin. So it was literally so bad that when yes, it was literally so bad that in stop it was for a penny.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I don't think the whole Duke Nukem franchise should be over just because of that one shitty game.
No, what it should. No, I agree. What, in my opinion, what I would say like change. I think what should change is sometimes if one company can do it, for instance, we have like a whole bunch of games that failure. But then when they give it to different companies, boom, they
Yeah.
for instance, out of the Spider-Man games, but when given to Insomniac,
Yeah, like they made the perfect Spider-Man games, in my opinion.
who made? Wait, do me a favor. Check who made Duke.
Okay.
Check who made. Have to know.
Gearbox, 3D Realms, and Tritech. They're the three responsible for this.
Box is the one. Fucking fuck. Asshole. Fucking dropped the ball on it. Damn it.
I don't think Gearbox had that much of a hand in it. I think it was more. I actually believe that this was more of a Tritech thing, or 3D Realms, because they were they had the most influence over the game. I think Gearbox just lended them some developers.
I would say give the game to Bethesda. Give the game to Bethesda because they
I think Bethesda could do a good Duke Nukem game.
They definitely fucking perfect.
Oh, they're making. Oh, have you seen the trailer for Doom: The Dark Ages? That shit looks immaculate. Immaculation. That's what that is. Yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do if they ever I wonder what story ideas they could do for like a new Doom game. That would be nice.
Like,
I mean, like a sequel to Eternal.
So if they make a sequel to Eternal, I would say like backed up. Get it with like anyway. Two, you travel to different like that.
And then 2016 was a return to form with some added shit, and Eternal was basically a perfect sequel in every way, shape, and form.
I think you could still go back to it. I go back to possible. They're still doing more with the
But yeah, I think maybe instead of demons this time, they could be facing off against maybe they could go find the original aliens that tried unlocking the demons in the first place. Because the whole reason demons even got on Earth was because a bunch of aliens accidentally opened up a portal to hell, which led to humans finding their shit. So maybe they could go somewhere with that.
Was it aliens? Apparently that was
Yeah, it was aliens. Like in the original Doom game, the reason why the people found the reason why those people actually, or the humans, found the thing that let them access the portal to hell was because an alien species or an alien race went to Mars before humans did, way before humans did, and basically unlocked a portal to hell. They closed it once they realized what the fuck they did, and then they just bounced, and then humans found the shit that they made, and lo and behold, we ended up opening the portal to hell.
Okay.
Yeah, I think finding that original race of aliens would be cool, or maybe reveal that hell or maybe reveal that they tried that experiment again or something once they learned about Argent Energy from Doom 2016. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here because there's really only one other thing I feel like could ruin gaming, and it might be like the last topic we talk about, so I was trying to stall.
So, quick question. If it comes to like the idea of a company,
I think I've talked about a few things of how companies ruin games.
I know, but what company?
Shit, all of them. I'm sorry, like there's really no way to, because like there's really no way for me to pinpoint one specific company that's doing the most damage to gaming, you know? Because Nintendo is fucking up because they abuse copyright systems, and those motherfuckers have gotten in the goddamn, you know, they've gotten in the business of patenting game mechanics, which you should never fucking do. Never patent a game mechanic. Maybe the characters and the stories and whatnot, but not the fucking mechanics, man. Don't do that. That's fucking stupid. But I also feel like a lot of people keep, not a lot of people, but I also feel like one thing that a lot of people, unfortunately, unfortunately are dealing with, but then you have Sony who, like, they work their developers to death, and they're like the definition of, oh, let's go out of our way and try and make it so that we only have, or that we're mostly focusing on good graphics, which again, not very helpful, and they work with, you know, tons of different companies that don't really care about developers, plus they do way too much goddamn outsourcing. But last but sure as shit not least, and this is possibly like the biggest issue, you got Microsoft over here literally buying up companies and buying different franchises and then doing nothing with them. Which, by the way, was technically the last topic I was going to go over. The idea of people who own franchises doing literally nothing with them. I am sick and tired of seeing video game companies buy franchises and do absolutely nothing with them.
You heard that Sony actually looking at parent company.
And I'm scared because I feel like they're going to make Souls games very exclusive because they have a history of buying certain video game franchises and then making them exclusive to PlayStation only, which is fucking bullshit because, you know, I feel like most Souls games should be on PC already. A lot of them aren't.
It's going to piss off a lot of gamers, but then at one point from a business, I see.
But that's not necessarily smart because when you make your video games exclusive to a specific thing, only to that thing forever, it makes it very hard for gamers to want to come over to your side and support you. Gamers for years have made it clear that they hate the idea of exclusives. Sure, they like the concept of you only having your games on a certain thing, but if you're not bringing your games to PC, then many people don't fully see that much of a point in overall buying them. It's why Square Enix realized, okay, maybe holding a lot of our games on here is a good idea. It's why they made a deal with Sony to allow for their video games to eventually get on PC, and it's why Sony has started releasing a bunch of their games on PC. Like, keep these games exclusive for like maybe a year or two, but then release them on other consoles to make more money from, you know, a market that clearly wants to play these damn games, you know? Like, I make it very clear that in the future when I start developing games, I'm only going to do exclusive deals if it means that it's only going to be exclusive to that console for a small amount of time, or at least for like a year or two. Like 2 years, sure, make it a PlayStation or Xbox exclusive. But after that, it better be on the Switch, it better be on Xbox, it better be on PlayStation, it better be on fucking PC. It better be fucking everywhere, and if it's not, then you're never gonna get another one of my goddamn games again.
It depends for me. As I said, like for me, I think like business wise, it's smart because then it does bring people. It brings people to the game because, as we know, in general, the games do not sell the console, and when you're making a console, especially for that, you need something for selling.
What do you mean the games do not sell the console? Games are the only thing that matter when it comes to consoles. You buy consoles to play the games.
Oh, no, excuse me. The console does not sell without the game. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like the console does not sell without the game, so that's why exclusives are coming through. Like,
which I get why exclusives exist. My main issue is that if the exclusives specifically are only tailored to that console forever, then that feels crappy, you know? Like, if you're gonna take a series that was once available on multiple different fucking like places, then under no circumstance, and then making it exclusive to yours, then that's kind of a bullshit thing.
As I said, I agree. As I said, it comes with like certain games. Like if it's Dark Souls, then yes, it would not be the way. You would have to make that a Sony than not so.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but if it's like Sly Cooper, if it's like something
yes,
made in hand, or God of War, then keep it on your consoles. Then I get it.
Yeah, if it's like Halo staying on Xbox, and then like the point, as I said, it would go to the point where it's like, oh, you know, they only have it on PlayStation. Okay, now I got a reason to buy a PlayStation.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people, and this is also another thing that I don't understand from gamers, that idea that style of game style, like automatically think that, oh, because you play PC. Sorry, PC is not the master. PC not even fucking.
Yeah, especially because you need like really expensive shit just to play most PC games.
Yeah, because oh, you know what? Oh, well, you know, we got the ability to ROMs and everything. I'm like, yeah, but you also got the ability to eat something. Like for instance, somebody leaked out things like from a game company, and I think it was Gearbox, and for Borderlands 3. They sent an agent straight to his house.
Damn.
They were like, yo, you stop this shit or we're gonna fucking...
Like, they leaked it?
Like, they leaked out all the info. And then they were like, yo, they told them, like, you stop it or you need to go ahead. You're freaking, like, they sent an agent and they were like, oh, you know, this is some of them. No, it's not. Like, it's something fucking illegal.
Yeah, don't leak information if
like,
you...
It's like information of the game. It's like, well, they had leaks. I'm like, bro, that's their choice if they want to give out the information. You can't be fucking by the game. Patient.
Exactly. I also feel like a lot of game devs, like, part of me feels like a bunch of game developers should also, like, I'm not gonna say they should not care about leaks, but I feel like because I feel like they should still make their games even if the information gets leaked, you know? Like, even if your information gets leaked, or even if the game information gets leaked, that's not a reason to not make the games. I feel like that's the main reason why we're not getting Spider-Man 2 content, or why some of the games that got leaked, because, like, apparently there was a bunch of information leaked that was like, oh, we were getting Spider-Man 3, obviously. We're getting a new Miles Morales game with Cindy Moon. We were going to get a Venom game, the Wolverine game, and a new Ratchet and Clank game. And now Insomniac released the whole, oh, a bunch of these stuff is canceled because it got leaked. And I feel like that's kind of a bullshit reason to cancel a game. Like, oh, we know you're making these games now. That's not a reason to cancel it. I feel like that's more of a reason to, like, be pissed off, obviously. Like, maybe you had a cool announcement or you wanted to reveal it. But you should still make the fucking games, you know? Like, don't cancel it just because we know about it now. You can make the games. In fact, because we know about it, we want these games even more now. Like, sure, they were leaked, but doesn't mean we shouldn't get them.
Like, I agree. Like, they should still make the game. In my opinion, as I said, that's not any...
Oh, obviously. Like, don't
like, if you leak a game just because you're impatient, fucking weren't raised price. Weren't raised.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because, like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people only have a limitation. I'm like, fucking sucks.
Exactly. Like, learn to be patient.
That's what we learn in children. Fucking be. But, as I said, it also gets to a point where it's like, okay, so now, with this, because I think it was, the Monkey Island video game. Have you heard of that one?
I've heard of it. I don't know really much about it.
Like a series of that. The guy's game got leaked. So it got leaked. And to a point where an art direction. And when he went to a different art direction, bullied him and sent him death threats because of
the fuck?
Yeah, and so like that's one instance where where it's like that, because it ended up Like, yo,
Yeah, don't fucking harass someone because they went into a different art direction. What the fuck is that shit?
then that's another thing where I also say that game up where the people no we
Like they harass people over the dumbest shit.
yeah, and that automatically like wins everything for instance I was making but like because like this happened in multiple voice actor Briggy from Overwatch threatened because the game was broken or the meta got broken because of her character. Nothing to do with the fucking game. Developers of Cyberpunk getting death threats. Do with the fucking and said hey back. Then when they pushed it back, to do is to push it back instead of doing so. Got death threats for it. Because of that, that video game. But guys are not in my forum no more. I'm cool. Nobody's gonna stuff that I did, and rightfully fucking so. If someone went ahead and threatened someone that I work with, or that worked for me in the company, because you didn't get fucking just because you didn't get the damn stupid freaking like what we pushed it back or you didn't get the answer. Okay, no problem. Fine, guess what? No more communication with you. Because guess what? That ruins a lot of shit for everyone. That ruins up to that simply because of the fact of you know what? You know for a fact it's a fucked up thing in the first place. Like a lot of people got death threats. A lot of people are making, especially very to have to go ahead and people liable for this. Everybody's like, oh well, it's not all of us. Right, it's not. But then they allow everybody to get shit. Guess what? Nobody's gonna fucking So, like, much as yes, it's not everybody. What? Blame your fucking guys for not acting right. Blame your fucking guys for not doing right by the game for you guys in the first place.
Exactly. Like, don't get pissed off at like people who have nothing to do with the quality of the game. That's like me walking up to a random clown at a circus because the elephant shat on me when the clown wasn't even performing when the elephant shat on me. You know.
Stupid. And
I know it's a very specific example, but you know, it's just the first one that came to mind.
Real life experience? Are you claiming?
No, I did not get shit on at the Universal Circus as a child by an elephant.
I was gonna say like you pulled out of his ass like Ace Ventura.
Oh God, I forgot that happens in one of the movies.
The whole time. No, but
like that. Oh, that was terrifying.
No, but that's what's ruining gaming is cross the line. Gamers who majorly cross the fucking line. That guess what? You have no absolute fucking right to comment or critique my fucking game.
Exactly. Like when you're going out of your way to like if you're harassing people or treating them like shit or treating people like I don't even think you should like beat on game developers if a game ends up poorly because I feel like another thing that's ruining gaming is video game companies not giving developers time to finish their fucking games. I feel like this is mainly on executives and big business decisions because here's the thing. Video game developers are not the ones to blame when it comes to making video games in general. They are simply told what games they're supposed to make, and that's where they're going into it. Video game companies are rarely, or the video game developers are rarely in charge of the games they're making. They are told to make a game, and that is it. Yeah, that is it.
I agree with that. I think
like they have an idea for a game, but if they don't get the A-OK to do it, then it's not going to happen, and they'll be told to work on this game or work on that game. You want to get pissed off because a game was rushed out and it wasn't finished? Get pissed off at the executives who said rush the game out. Get pissed off at them. All right. I say this to Sonic fans all the goddamn time. Do not get mad at Sonic Team because Sonic 06 or Sonic or this Sonic game was rushed out. Get pissed off at, get pissed off at the executives at Sega for the shit that they did. Get pissed off at them because they're the ones who's told the game to get released for like a fucking deadline or some shit like that. No, I don't even think video games should have deadlines. Like, for fuck's sake, if you want to make a video game, if you want to make a video game, expect that shit to at least take 4 years, at minimum 4 years to develop. And if it's sooner, if it comes out sooner, that's fantastic. All right, you can release the game sooner, and you can surprise everyone who was waiting on it.
If it takes longer, let them announce that it's gonna take longer.
Exactly, and don't release like a fucking release date for a video game unless the game is like at least around at least around like 70% done. Like if it's like at 70 or 60% finished, then come up with like an estimated release date. Don't give us an official release date unless the game is 100% complete. Because that's the thing I feel like is also like ruining video games. It's making it to where video games, unfortunately, do not have the ability to truly, it's not allowing the developers to truly stretch their legs and actually make the damn games.
Yeah, I think when it comes to a point where it comes to making games, I think developers need more say. They deserve more say. If a business guy is like, oh, we're gonna do it this way, a developer should have the right to say, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Developers need more control over their games.
Exactly, and then it's like, I think a lot of people don't understand where that people don't do that for like the gaming industry, and that they should do it for the gaming.
Exactly.
Like a lot of gaming companies don't even get to that point where it's like that. Like a lot of, like, for instance, Anthem is one of the biggest problems. Like Anthem was in my opinion a good game that could have still been a thing. Like it had like everything set. BioWare was like, all right, we got this set. We got people gonna fucking like it. Is there any issues? Then we'll fix it. 6 months before it's supposed to come out, business area is like, we're gonna need you guys to start working on it again, but with a new engine. So that means they had to go into the coding. Every single fucking thing in the game had to be changed so it works with the Frostbite engine, which was absolutely but fucking stupid. It was so fucking stupid. It was so dumb. Because so it was like, Anthem was supposed to be the reason why Destiny should have died. And you know what? Because of that business aspect from fucking EA executives telling BioWare what the fuck to do, then guess what?
The game sucked ass?
Yeah, the game sucked ass. The game went down all the way to $5.
Damn.
And then it got to the point where BioWare was like when it comes to Dreadwolf or any Mass Effect fucking game from now on, nobody in the business area will fucking tell us what to do. And then they said, if this is the fucking case, we will cancel our fucking contract. We will go to Sony.
Which I think is perfectly valid response. Like, you fuck over our game. We don't, same thing with the fucking, I think a similar thing happened with, well, not an exact same thing, but, game developers who have the rights to their games, they should take advantage of the fact that they have the rights to their games, because a similar thing happened with the people who made the Oddworld series. I think I told you about this at one point, but if you know anything about Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Abe's Exodus, Munch's Odyssey, Strangers, Paradise, all those games. Yeah, it turns out the developers of Oddworld, they originally were making a bunch of Oddworld games for the Xbox, and at first they were more than happy to make Oddworld games for Xbox only, Xbox exclusives. But then Microsoft basically tried pulling a Banjo-Kazooie on the Oddworld series. did not advertise Stranger's Paradise, didn't really do anything that interesting with the goddamn Oddworld series at all, and basically tried to bury it. Literally, they attempted to bury Oddworld, and it ended with the developers of Oddworld basically being like, fuck this shit. We're not gonna make any Oddworld games for Microsoft ever again. Xbox is never gonna see an Oddworld game for as long as Oddworld exists. And lo and behold,
it took Sony to bring it back.
Yeah, like Sony gave them the go-ahead to make new Oddworld games and gave them a budget. But guess what? Oddworld games are on Nintendo Switch. I think they're on PC. I could be wrong about that. And they're on fucking PlayStation. And lo and behold, there ain't no goddamn Oddworld on Xbox. And there were even re-releases of the older Oddworld games for the Nintendo Switch. Like, you can get, like, I think Oddworld New and Tasty, Munch's Paradise, and Soulstorm, and all that. You can get all those fucking games onto the Nintendo Switch, but Xbox ain't seeing shit, and that's because they fucked this up years ago by trying to fuck over the Oddworld franchise.
I think it's because this is why I don't like Xbox, because it goes to a point where it's like you have the ability, so much of it, and and it's the same thing with Sony. Sony does the exact same thing. You have the ability to so much of it that you don't use. That's why I like Nintendo when it
they have the ability to make their franchises better, but they just don't do anything with them.
Yeah, like for instance, oh, there was no Fire Emblem game that's coming out. Oh, okay, let's make Fire Emblem Heroes. All right, cool. Now we got a new Fire Emblem, something new. Fire Emblem Heroes is not bad. We try something. Zelda. Wow, Breath of the Wild and fucking things like working with franchises. Sony and Xbox needs fucking guys then. Fuck.
Wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to add some stairs, but I think that kind of works. Never mind. Hold on. Yeah, this lightsaber sucks. Thank you. Get the top ones too. Leave the block. No, leave the. That's not.
What do you try to do, man?
I'm trying to make it to where these stairs line up on the block. Yeah, like this.
These companies need to like add in.
Yeah, they need to take advantage of the fact that they have these franchises and stop just, ignoring them. Oh shit.
It's like, bro, just something with nothing wrong. The idea of making another Sly Cooper, and when you get like companies like Microsoft like freaking buying companies and then shutting them down, that is another thing that's ruining gaming. How the fuck do you get Hi-Fi Rush? Hi-Fi Rush was amazing,
and then not do anything.
And then not do anything with it. Hi-Fi Rush was pissed. We were pissed. And that it fucking closed down. I was like, motherfucker, close this thing. Oh,
I'd be pissed too. Like I'd be I would be fucking infuriated if if like I got bought out by a bigger company and then they just shut my company down. That would piss me the hell off.
Like, what the fuck? Guys, go ahead.
Cause like, there's no reason for them to close. Hi-Fi Rush was fucking. That game was big as hell. People loved it. There's no reason to get rid of it. There's no.
Well, actually, what did a sequel?
Wait, does Xbox own the rights to Hi-Fi Rush?
Yes. So
Damn.
let me check on you for. I'm gonna see it right here. So companies. I'm gonna write down companies shut down by Microsoft.
I know Rareware is one of them.
Which you shouldn't. So Alpha Dog Games, Roundhouse Studios, Tango Gameworks, and Arcane Austin. So like, so I'm gonna check out these. So Tango Gameworks. So Tango Gameworks was responsible for The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush.
And they got shut down.
Shut down. So Arcane Studios, which they are responsible for Deathloop, Prey, and the Dishonored series.
They got shut down.
They got shut down.
What the fuck is wrong with Microsoft?
Alpha Dog Studios. So Alpha Dog Studios, the Alpha Dog Studios games.
I think it was a bad idea to get rid of that foundation. The house is falling apart.
The games that they made, which apparently they're back. Well, Wraithborn, the action RPG. I'm happening that most likely they did some good stuff with it. They made Wraithborn, Ninja Golf, Monstro City, and Mighty Doom, which are all mobile games. And they made fucking Redfall.
No, I'm just gonna blow this yellow house. It doesn't fit with the aesthetic.
You don't fit with the aesthetic. So Roundhouse Studios.
Damn, that bitch went flying.
So Roundhouse Studios is another one. Which they had part in Blair and Prey. The Blair Witch what the fuck? Roundhouse Studios. Why can't I fucking I can't even fucking see what games they made. Well, they made Redfall, so that's another thing for that. But no, yeah, that's one of the major reasons why I will never work for Microsoft. If I was a gaming company, I will most likely either go to Sony or most likely go to Valve.
Oh shit. Okay. I thought, for a second I thought the house was gonna land on the cabin you built.
How the hell did you?
I threw TNT in it. I've been chucking TNT in this bitch. Watch.
But yeah, that's another thing, especially if you don't know the right for summon ahead.
Try and get it inside the house. Okay.
Ah!
Oh shit! It might land on the cabin. It landed on the cabin. Alright.
Oh, destroy the cards.
Damn. I love that car more than I love my children. If I had any. Exactly.
lot of people just, a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is true. I feel like Microsoft is like the Nickelodeon of video game companies.
Sony.
Yeah, I guess.
Nintendo's like Disney is very protective for its rights.
Well, that and because Nintendo is one of the oldest, like, is the oldest of the three of them.
Yeah, and like a lot of people were like, and you know what else I hate? I hate when people say this. Like, oh, but where? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm waiting for Microsoft to find it. What? Like,
Yeah, that's never gonna fucking happen.
yeah, like, first of all, no, $5 for Mario? What?
Yeah, Nintendo's never gonna sell Mario to anybody.
Yeah. Plus, let's be real. Some of those gaming companies got down. Fucking.
Yeah.
An executive from Nintendo shutting shit down.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
All right, but let me go ahead and cut this stream.
All right. Thank you all so much. Oh, you already cut it.
Oh no, not yet, not yet. Thank you guys for watching. As I said, leave a like, leave a subscribe to this. We're gonna do more of these. With me and Josh today, because I said Jonah am busy stuff. But
yeah,
with that, we're gonna go ahead and continue on for another time. Stay tuned for tomorrow, because I'm gonna be playing more of Mario and Luigi's Brothership, and then be doing more Dragon Age. Wow.
All right, now stop trying to bomb Nico.
Fucking down on you like God. Dorime, ameno.
Latitis. I love Latitis.
Fair enough. But leave a like, leave a subscribe for this stream, and stay tuned for another episode of and stream of Tem Game Boys.
TemPodCast.
TemPodCast. What's